Did he just give you guys a message that I'm recording?
Yes.
Cool. So I think that means it's working.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll go ahead and get started. So the first question actually was about the app. So I guess I can talk about that first. So the app, the Bible Project app, they just started that and it's really cool, but it doesn't have Classroom on it yet, which I thought it was going to. I'm a little disappointed, but the app is cool. So for our purposes, we'll probably have to stick with like just using their website for now. And I'll keep, we'll keep watching the app and we'll let you know if that changes, because it would be really handy to be able to do it within the app itself. I don't know if they have that planned at some point, but the cool thing on the app is maybe something that could happen after this, because what we're going through is the Intro to Hebrew Bible, and it basically walks you through like a process of reading the Old Testament and kind of looking for patterns and stuff like that. And so then they actually have within the app itself, they have some practice with you actually doing that. And I haven't gotten very far in it yet, but I'm kind of working through that myself. So I could see that being a cool thing to do like later on in the year after we've gone through this class. But I think it would be good to go through the Intro to the Hebrew Bible class first before doing some of the stuff that's on the app, just because it's a good introduction to that system of reading the Old Testament. So let's see here. Let me get my notes out just to make sure that I don't miss something. Okay. So what I want to show you guys first, well, first of all, let me do a couple introductions. So I'm Nathan. I think I know everybody that's here. And then we've got Joseph and Jake, and the three of us have been talking about doing this for a while. And we just enjoy the Bible Project. I know Jake's brother-in-law is really, really into it. We've had some really cool conversations. So we just kind of got excited about this idea of maybe doing this class with some people together who are also interested in it. And I know me personally, like this is one of just going through some of these classes that Bible Project offers is one of the coolest things that I've done for a long time, and just helping me to sort of see how the Old Testament is put together. And I know some of you who have experience with Bible Project, you've probably had some of those same moments where it's like, wow, I've never looked at the Bible this way before. And it's a really cool thing. So we just want more people to experience that. And so we thought it would be fun to have just a little community of people who are going through it together. So that's kind of our vision for this. It's going to be really low key, really, really loose, not very structured, but just kind of something that we can do together. So that's kind of the idea behind it. So let me just show you like how you're going to just practically get into all this stuff. And I'll try to go through this as quickly as possible. So I need to show you my desktop, not my calendar. Okay. So this is the Bible Project like homepage. So if you're on a computer, or if you want to do this on your phone, you can, or if you want to just, do this later, if you come back and watch the video and follow the steps. But if you just go to bibleproject.com, this is where it will take you, is to, the screen that looks like this. So then if you go up to the upper right-hand corner right here, and stop me if I'm going too fast on any of this. But if you hit the menu button and then go down to where it says login/join. So if you already have an account with Bible Project, then you can actually just log in that way. But if you need to sign up, you can, sign up with Google or Facebook or just use your email, whatever. But you will have to, in order to do this classroom thing so it can track your progress, you will have to start an account with Bible Project. It's completely free, but you'll probably have to do that. So I don't know what all that entails, honestly. I think it's pretty fast, if I remember right. And I think I just started one to go through the first class. So if you want to do that now, you can, and that will give you a chance to kind of follow along with what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and sign in here. Let me pause sharing for a second. Okay. Why did that not work? Sorry, trying to get logged in here. I wanted to show you what it looked like if I wasn't already logged in. Okay, there we go. Okay, so then once you're logged in, it should look something like this. I don't know exactly what it will look like for you. So then if you go back to the menu over on the side here, you should see where it says Classroom Beta. Can you guys see my screen again? Yes, okay. So where it says Classroom Beta, so if you click on that, then it will take you to the Classroom homepage. And this is where all their classes are. And so it says you can try a mini class, you can try a full class. But then if you scroll down past that, then it lists all the different classes they have. So you can see there's Art of Biblical Words, Adam to Noah, and it will tell you about how much time it is for each of these. Book of Jonah, Paul's letter to the Ephesians. I just finished this one, Letter to the Ephesians. It's really, really good. Intro to the Hebrew Bible and Heaven and Earth are the other two that I've done at this point. So the Intro to the Hebrew Bible is right here. So if you click on Explore the Class, for me, it's going to say that I've already done this. And so it's going to ask me if I want to resume the class. But for you, I think it'll give you an option to start the class right here. So that's where you can click. And it actually, even before you do that, it will give you an overview if you scroll down, and it will tell you what the units look like and all the different sessions here. So you can see kind of how it's organized. So then if you click on start the class, I'm clicking on resume the class, then it brings up something that looks like this on the computer, except it will not say congratulations, you did it. But there's the introduction that gives just a quick overview, and you can click on the handouts that he has, like his lecture notes for the whole thing. And then there's, I think in the handouts, there's also there's a concordance guide, which he talks about how to use the concordance to find some of those patterns and links and stuff throughout the Old Testament. And then you can just click to download all the handouts as well. And so that will download them as PDFs for you. And then if you go into one of these, like this first video right here, what on earth is the Hebrew Bible? When you click on that, on the computer, it will basically bring up a video. So let me just show you this real quick. So if you click on watching the video, there we go. On the computer is where you kind of get the best classroom experience, where it's actually, so you can see on one side, you're watching Tim teach. And it's cool because it's like, it's a whole group of people just sitting around a table basically the whole time. And so they're interacting with each other. They're having conversations as the class goes on. But you're watching that happen here, but then his slides that he's showing, you can see right here. And then down here, you can look at a transcript. There's prompts down here, which I've already answered, but for you, it would just show like, here's the question it's going to ask you at the end of the video. So this, if you're doing it on a computer, that's where you're going to be able to see everything. Okay. However, I really want to stress this, like this class can be done in so many different ways. And I was super busy when I was doing this class. And so a lot of it I actually did on my phone while I just listened to it on my phone while I was walking the dog, or while I was, doing laundry or riding our exercise bike downstairs. There's so many ways that you can fit this into your busy life and schedule. So please don't feel like you have to be sitting in front of a computer. If you have the time to sit down and do that, great. But if not, you're going to get a lot out of this, because I did, just by listening to the videos, even depending on how much of an audio learner you are, that sort of thing. But there are options. There are different ways you can do this. So, this website works really well on the phone as well. I've never had any problem with it. And I've actually jumped back and forth. So you can actually do, like, if you watch half of a video on your computer and then you run out of time and you want to finish the video on your phone, you can just go into the classroom website on your phone, and once you're logged in, it will take you right back to that exact same spot in the video. So you can you jump back and forth. It's really user friendly. I've never had any issues with it whatsoever. So that's basically the way that you can access the class. Does anyone have any questions real quick about any of that? Like how to get to it, how to move your way through the class, that sort of thing?
What the handouts are different from the notes that he has beside there.
So the handouts go along with the slides that he's showing on his screen, but they're more in like a PDF form. So they're not, you know, I think sometimes he shows some pictures on his slides that you don't necessarily see in his lecture notes. But you'll get a lot of the same stuff there. There's quite a bit of overlap. I mean, it is, you know, it's like 15 hours of a kind of like a seminary level class, which is amazing, you know, and this is all for free. I say for free. We'll talk about that in a minute, but any other questions that you have? Okay, so sorry, was someone gonna ask something? I heard something click on. Okay, cool. So let me just say one other thing here, and let me get back to, oh boy. Here we go. Okay, so in that menu, I have to move this because it's in my way. There we go. So down at the bottom on this menu, there's an option to give. And so just so you guys know, I want to make you aware of this, and you know, absolutely no pressure whatsoever. But if you feel like over time you're really benefiting from this, this is basically how they keep everything free. All their videos, their classes, all that stuff is just by donations that people make. So if any of you felt like making donations, if you wanted to give monthly or that sort of thing, I'm just telling you that it's there. So again, you know, no pressure or anything like that. But once you get far enough into it, you may realize, hey, this is something that I really do want to support because it's just so good. So I just wanted to make you aware that that is there. Okay, let me make sure that there's nothing else that I need to talk about. Okay, I think that's basically it. So Jake, do you want to talk about maybe like how the class is going to be paced and how all of that will work?
For sure. Yeah. If you want to go back to maybe like how it shows the unit breakdown and sessions, that might be helpful.
Let me get back there.
But basically there's 5 units in the whole class, and then under those units there are roughly 6 sessions in each unit. I think there's 29 total sessions, and the plan is to do 2 sessions per week. So within each session you can see there's that video. It's usually 20 to 40 minutes roughly for that lecture video, and then there's questions to follow. So our tentative plan with like this and using the app is, you know, say people do both sessions early in the week and they just want to fire out their responses on the WhatsApp. We're just going to kind of leave that open. We want to keep it flexible. But also we want to mention too, if people's phones start getting blown up and things maybe aren't working out the best, we are open to adapt and maybe look at having a couple specific days where we all kind of go in, and maybe that's the time to share our responses. But for the start, we want to keep it kind of flexible. Everyone do it at their own pace within that 2 sessions per week. So we'll start with sessions 1 and 2 within unit 1 on this week. So that'll run today through Saturday, which is January 8th. And then, so in total, this will take us through the week of April 11th, if my math is correct on that. So
I'm going to trust you on that one.
yeah.
I ain't done that math.
I am an accountant, so hopefully I got that right. So yeah, I think that's kind of what we're looking at. Does anyone have any feedback on, using the app and sending responses? We kind of want to make it a group decision too, if anyone has any thoughts on that, of like timing on
I think on the WhatsApp, you have the ability to mute it so that it doesn't like alert you every time somebody posts something, which would probably be helpful for everybody on something like this. So then you can just get in it in your own time and see what people have said since the last time you posted.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And I'm actually going to, in just a minute, I'll bring the WhatsApp up so you guys can see exactly how to do some of those settings. Because the last thing we want, like Jake said, is for, like your phone to just be going crazy all week, So I'll show you a couple of things that will hopefully help mitigate that. And then also, let me just mention this. So the question and response thing at the end of each session is completely optional. Okay. So again, like there's different levels that you can do with this class, which is what's, I think, so great about it. If you just have time to watch the videos and that's all, there's an option in each of these question and responses to just skip it. Or if you would rather do all of your discussion on WhatsApp with people that, that know a little bit more, then, feel free to skip those as well. If you want to do those and, sort of summarize that response and put that into the chat, that's fine. But that's going to be, a lot of times that's going to be a kind of a block of an answer. So you might not want to put all of that in the chat. So, so you guys can kind of decide how much you want to do on the class itself, how much you want to actually be doing on the WhatsApp. If you would prefer to just look at what other people are writing in the WhatsApp and never actually make a comment for yourself, that's totally fine. So there's different levels that you can do this. We're trying to keep it as flexible as possible. So Jake, do you have anything to add to that?
I don't think so. I think that's kind of the rough overview of what we're looking at. I don't know if anyone has any other thoughts or questions on that.
So when we do the sessions, well, I guess you kind of answered. It's just going to be very casual, and what is your desired participation in the WhatsApp chat? Because we've been doing the read the Bible in a year in our small group and typing the responses every day on that, and it's been working out really good. And I think you get a lot of benefit from the interaction of it. So is there a direction that what would be ideal, or we're just keeping it very loose?
Hey, Jeremy, how you doing, buddy?
Hey.
Yeah. So Jeremy's part of the group that we're doing, and yeah, we do kind of have the option to chat on that. But and again, I don't mean to cut in there, Nathan.
No, great. Thanks, Joseph.
I think, again, we're going to leave that up to y'all. I mean, if you guys see something as you're going through the class and you see something that's just like, wow, it just blew my mind. I just want to share that with you. Or if you have questions, we want you to be able to ask that. And I think we'll cover some of that in just a few minutes when I talk about kind of our vision and goal for the group. And so we'll answer some of that as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Joseph. Okay, so let me try and do this really quick. I just want to show you a couple of things on the app itself that might make your life better. And maybe, again, give you that level of personalization so you can do kind of what you want with the chat. So give me a second here. Let me start sharing from my phone. See if this is working. Well, I might have to stop sharing from here. Are you seeing my phone? I'm not seeing my phone now.
No.
Let me try this again. I think maybe I needed to stop from the other one first. There we go. Okay, so if you're in, yes, okay. So if you're in the WhatsApp, let's see here. So the first thing you're gonna see, if you have other like WhatsApp groups, you're gonna see all of those at the beginning in your list of chats, okay? And so if you go into settings down here in the lower right-hand corner, there's a couple of things you can do in settings that might be kind of helpful. So where you go into account and where it says privacy at the top here, just a couple of things that, like, I don't know, some people might be creeped out by this. So I just wanted to make you aware that you can turn some of these things off. Where it says last seen, unless you change it in WhatsApp, everyone in the group can see when you're online. So if you would prefer, and by online, I mean like when you're using the app, if you would prefer for people not to necessarily know that, then you can turn that off. So if you go into last seen, it'll give you the option to only let your contacts see that, or nobody, like nobody can see that you're using the app at any given time. So I just wanted to show that to you. Profile photo, you can add one, or no, that's actually not where you add it. I'm sorry. That's where you can control who can see your profile photo if you want. Status, if you're ever doing anything with any of that stuff. And then the read receipts is another one. Like sometimes people like for you to, other people to be able to know when they've read something, or sometimes you maybe prefer not to know when you read something. So you can turn that off as well. So I just wanted to show that to you quickly. But a couple of things that I think are really going to help here when you're in the actual chat. So down at the bottom, if you look right next to the settings, just to the left of that is where it says chats. So that's where you can always get to your list of chats that you have. And this might be the only one at this point, is the one that says Intro to Hebrew Bible. So if you click on that, you can see our chat. Up at the very top where it says Intro to Hebrew Bible, if you click on that, it's going to give you some options here. Okay, so it'll give you options, and you'll see most of these for yourself. There's a few that as an admin, only Jake, Joseph, and I will see. But most of these you'll see. So the chat search is kind of useful, because if you're like, I know we were talking about something and I just can't remember what it was. If you click on that, it will bring up a search bar at the top, and you can actually search through the chat and find whatever that topic was. So that might be helpful for you. The other things you can do here, this is where the mute is that we were talking about before. So the cool thing about the mute, it gives you some options. So let's say that you're at work and you're like, I need my phone not to be doing this right now. So you can choose to mute it automatically for 8 hours. And then, that way, if you forget to unmute it later, it will still unmute in 8 hours. You can mute it for a week. You can mute it always, so that it's always muted until you turn that off. So whatever level you want there, you can do that. And you can always go in and do that at any point with this particular chat, if it's just getting to be too much. Okay, so that might be helpful for some of you if people are interacting a lot and it's like, oh, I don't know if I want that level of interaction, then you can do that. The other thing on here, well, actually, let me show you one other thing first. So if you're actually in the chat itself, right here, if you want to respond to someone specifically, then what you can do is you can actually click on their message and hold it. And then it will give you some options here. So you can star it. I don't know what that does, honestly. You can reply. So if you hit reply, just to be aware, and I actually found this out when I sent the message to Jeremy earlier, everyone can still see it. Okay, so it's not like you're just replying to them, but it makes it very clear who you're replying to. So if there's one specific comment that you want to, reply to, then you can just hold their comment for a second and it will give you that option to reply. Okay. I don't even know what this more option does. Oh, there we go. Okay. I'm glad I clicked that. So there's an option to reply privately. So if you're like, okay, it seems like just me and this other person are the only people talking right now, we don't want to blow up everybody else's phone, then you can use that option, reply privately. And then it will take you just to a private chat between the two of you. So you can do that. So those are some of the options. The other way to get to a chat where you're just talking to one other person, if you click up at the top again, and then you scroll down, you can see the list of everybody that's in the class. And if you just click on one of those people, and then you click on info, then it gives you some options up at the top. Like you can just click on the text bubble there, and then it will actually let you just text with that person. Okay. So just so you know, those are some of the options you have in the app itself that might help with, especially if you're like, you've got one particular thing that you just want to talk to one person about and you don't want to blow up everybody else's phone, then that's a way that you can do that. Does anybody have any other questions about the app itself? And again, I'm recording all of this and I'll try to post this in the WhatsApp so that you can always come back and reference this if you need to later. But it's pretty user-friendly. I think it's pretty intuitive finding the things that you need to find on here. Okay, so if there aren't any other questions about that, I guess, Joseph, do you mind talking to us about like just our heart for the chat and like some of the things that we hope we see happen there, and maybe some of the things we hope we don't see happen?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, personally, myself, Nathan, Jake, we've all kind of had some great conversation about what we want to get out of this group. And then as we're doing that, we're trying to think about everyone else that's going to be involved in the group as well. So we kind of put out a message, which we'll post in the WhatsApp as well for y'all. But I'm just going to read to you kind of our heart and what we want to see, and hopefully kind of create a space where everyone can learn together without feeling like you can't ask that question or you can't share with what's on your heart, because we want to just be able to do this together in a safe space. So I'm just going to take a moment. It's very short. We just kind of want to read to you where our heart is and what the goal is of the group. So what we kind of have down is our goal and mission for this group is to grow as a community in our knowledge and passion for Scripture as we begin to unwrap this beautiful story. We hope and pray that through this journey together as Christ followers, we will rise up to seek a deeper understanding of God's holy word and begin to share this with others who need the story of redemption and hope. As we go through this class together, let's remember that we're talking to people, and people are taking this class from all walks of life and varying level of biblical knowledge. While we welcome conversations and challenging questions, we want to make sure that this space is a safe space for all to join in. That said, we came up with one rule for the group, and that's to love others well. Matthew 22:37-39 speaks to this, and Jesus himself said, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your strength." The second is to love your neighbor as yourself. There's no commandment greater than these. Mark 12:30-31. What does it mean to love your neighbor well? It means that we are going to respect our differences, opinions, current or past religious affiliations, or biblical knowledge. None of us in this group have it all figured out, and we are all broken individuals in need of a savior. We may at times have to agree to disagree. When someone says something that you don't agree with, be prepared to be an attentive listener and slow to speak. James 1:19 says, "My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry." It is okay to share your experience and opinions, but not at the expense of another's feelings or relationship. Let's remember that we are not here to change anyone, rather to build each other up and encourage one another. Therefore, encourage one another and build each other up. 1 Thessalonians 5:11. We want to make sure that you're able to ask questions and let God do the shaping that only he can do. As we move into this journey together, let's pray for one another and ask God to reshape us and open our eyes to the unimaginable depth and mind-blowing love that covers the pages of this book. I personally am super excited about this, taking this journey with you guys. I know Nathan and Jake are all excited about this. We want to hear your feedback. I'm sure we're going to learn from you guys because, again, we're still figuring this stuff out ourselves. So, thank you for letting me be part of this. And again, if you guys need anything, please let me know. Nathan, Jake, we're here to help support you guys on this journey. And again, hopefully you guys will do the same for us as well.
Thank you, Joseph. It's very well said. Okay, I think We almost did it. It's 6:32, so that's pretty good. Does anybody have any other questions for us? Anything that you need clarified? Yeah, Amy?
Hey, you may already have talked about this, but I don't remember. Is there an option for graduate credit if somebody wanted to do that? Or are they, that's why this is beta?
That is a question, a good question that I do not know the answer to, but we can look into that for you. Because that would be really cool. I hadn't even thought about that. But yeah, we'll look into that and see what's out there. I don't know necessarily what his accreditation is. I know he's a very smart guy who has studied in Israel and he's very good at Hebrew and just understanding the ancient Near East, but I don't really know what the accreditation would be for this. So we'll look into that. Anything else? Okay, cool. So thank you guys for doing this with us. We really, like Joseph said, we're so excited about this. And it's just, I don't know, if you haven't experienced anything Bible Project before, it's gonna blow you away. I really think it will. And even if you have, I mean, it's, you know, I had experienced a lot of Bible Project stuff before, and this classroom kind of blew me away. So it's gonna be fun. And I guess for this next week, the plan is just to watch those first 2 videos. And then whenever you guys want to, you can, and if you want to, you can start just posting things in the chat, like stuff that's really sticking out to you, stuff that you're learning as you go through it. And we'll kind of just see where the discussion goes from there. Our plan is not to really have any other meetings like this necessarily. The rest of it's going to be, to use a teacher word, it's going to be asynchronous from here on out. Okay, so we'll just kind of do this on our own time when we have a chance, and we may meet back up at the end or something like that when we get finished with the class and talk about what we maybe would want our next steps to be after this. So I think that's pretty much it, though. If you guys have other individual questions, I'll hang out for a couple of minutes. Just in case you want to ask something that you don't think is necessarily relevant to everybody else. But otherwise, if you guys don't have any other questions, hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks,
you.
Nathan.
Yeah.
Thanks for leading us through that, Nathan. Appreciate it.
Bye. Yeah, everybody.